So, Anurag, what's the brief overview of iTexico? What is your focus? What should clients expect when they do business with your company?
Okay. So, Steve, iTexico is based in Austin.
Mm-hmm.
At iTexico, we provide expert mobile applications and IT services to clients in North America.
Mm-hmm.
Our services include multi-platform mobile application development and software development services. We also do testing in QA and IT support services. In addition to teams in Austin and Bay Area, we have a large trained bilingual technology team in the Silicon Valley of Mexico, Guadalajara.
Uh-huh.
And we leverage our Nearshore delivery center to provide expert engineers and cost-effective solutions.
Mm-hmm. Okay, when you said IT services, what did you mean by that?
They include software development services, architecture services, software testing, QA, and software support services.
Okay, but the focus has really been on mobile app development, right?
Primarily, more than half of our business is working with clients who are building mobile solutions for either their internal use or for taking their products to the market.
Okay. And oftentimes these mobile apps, I mean, it's not just an app running on an iPhone or Android device. It's there's a web app or a cloud-based portion to it also, right?
So, absolutely. It's a great question. Most of the mobile apps we are building are what we call multi-platform mobile applications. So
Mm-hmm.
they work on iOS, on Android.
Mm-hmm.
They're on, we call them responsive websites. So they work on mobile devices as HTML.
Mm-hmm.
And most of the mobile applications need data capture, data integration with the backend systems, with cloud, with existing environments. So there's a lot of API integration required for mobile solutions. So we have a backend team, experts in the backend technologies like cloud, in PHP, in .NET, in Java,
Right.
which work with our mobile solutions in the front to provide a complete end-to-end solution.
Okay, that's good. So for these mobile applications, and I'm sorry, what was the phrase you used? Multi-platform?
Multi-platform mobile application.
Yeah, okay, good. I want to use that. So for these multi-platform mobile applications, what would you say is the ideal customer or client? What kind of companies need these kinds of services?
So the market is really, really big, and actually from small to large, almost every company we know of which has any presence on the web
Mm-hmm.
is looking to have part of this, their solutions, their presence on the mobile devices. We typically work with small to mid-sized companies
Mm-hmm.
who either are trying to take the products to market using presence on the mobile devices. A lot of them are converting their existing technology solutions, their software solutions, to work on the mobile devices, either as responsive websites
Mm-hmm.
or as clients on, as I call, multi-platform devices, including iOS, Android, and other platforms, Windows and BlackBerry. So it's a wide variety.
Mm-hmm.
Our sweet spot, given our size, given our presence, is on clients who are looking for bilingual solutions
Mm-hmm.
and who are small to mid-sized companies who don't have a large in-house IT presence or a team of software developers who they could train on these new ways of building applications.
Yeah.
So they don't have talent in-house, or they don't have time to build the talent. And those are the guys who come and typically engage with us. In addition, a lot of our clients have worked with teams in faraway destinations like India and China,
Mm-hmm.
and they find the collaboration difficult, and they come to us because of our nearshore presence, because of our collaboration, because of the time zone.
Right. Yeah. Okay. So it's companies that, as you said, have some sort of web presence. It could be a software product or service company, or I guess it could be a company that just has a software-enabled service rather than, offering the software itself. And yeah, everybody's going mobile these days. And so it's difficult. So you're not just providing a couple programmers, you're individuals, you're providing a more complete service to develop these applications, right? I mean, that's the kind of experience you've had with your clients.
It's both, actually. We are taking projects where we take over the development and testing and design of the whole solution. A lot of our clients have come to us for dedicated teams as an extended team. We call that model as a extended team as a service, e-task. So they come to us when they don't have enough people on their own staff, or they need something for a short time on demand to allow them to scale up and down as they go to the market. So half of our business is projects where we are taking over the ownership of the complete end-to-end project, and half of it is extended, dedicated teams working collaboratively in an agile environment in the same time zone. And there's a lot of back and forth travel. A lot of our clients come to our offices to work with the team on site. It's really, really easy to travel to our delivery center in Guadalajara. It's like going to any other city in US. And then our consultants, our developers, our engineers also come on site to spend time with the clients. So it allows the collaboration, even when the team is dedicated to the account.
Okay. So let's talk about Mexico and why Mexico. So Anurag, it's obviously by your name and your looks, it looks like you're from India, I would say, and yet you're doing business in Mexico. So I'm sure there's a story there. What's the background? What's the backstory?
So I started my career with Tata TCS in India.
Okay.
That shows my age, 31 years ago.
Yeah.
So I've been in IT services, software services for over 30 years now. And in addition to working at TCS, I worked at IBM Global Services and Dell. And I've also run two companies based in India. I've been CEO of two companies, one in 2006, the other in 2010. And over time, I realized that there's another way to provide services to clients here in US. So 3 years ago, we started iTexico to provide cutting-edge bilingual technology solutions to clients in North America. And we also wanted to address the challenges with working with technology teams in faraway places like China and India. And also to tap into an excellent pool of highly talented bilingual engineers in Mexico. So having that experience of working with leading some large companies in India, working with their processes, working on how they were able to scale their operations, we are taking the same approach by leveraging the talent, the proximity, the trade relationship in Mexico with the US and building a highly talented team, building a scalable company to service clients in North America. Okay,
great. So you're able to take the lessons learned from all those years of experience working with India and now apply them to a nearshore destination. Great.
Absolutely. Yes.
So tell us about the location. You mentioned Guadalajara is the Silicon Valley of Mexico. What's it like there? What are your offices like there? Is it a good place to work?
Yes, it's actually an excellent place to work, and hopefully I'll be able to have you visit us, and also I'll be able to provide you some videos. So it's like a Class A facility. Really cool working environment. It's like working in any high-tech startup in Austin, in the Bay Area. And we have excellent infrastructure, power, AC is something we don't even think about. High bandwidth coming in, really open working environment where no one has offices except for conference rooms. So it's a very open working culture. And the culture is like the Bay Area. It's like, it's fun, it's flexible. We work hard. We are in a really nice part of Guadalajara. It's called the Expo Center, where all the second largest exposition center in Latin America is. We're literally walking distance from our offices. Of course, all the facilities are there. In terms of the city itself, I've been amazed by the city itself, where we have our offices. Of course, the weather is probably one of the best in the world. It's very high tech. A lot of high tech companies from US, from Europe have offices there. IBM is there, HP is there, Dell is there, Bank of America, Oracle, TCS. I mean, it's a high tech capital. It's the Silicon Valley of Mexico.
Okay.
It's an excellent infrastructure, excellent way of tapping into talent, excellent way of building talent, excellent way of attracting talent from other parts of not only Mexico, but from other regions of Latin America. So we have a pretty diverse team, and they just want to come to Guadalajara, and having really cutting-edge clients in US, where we do projects on mobile, on cloud, is allowing us to attract really, really good talent.
Okay. Yeah, perhaps an unsophisticated or uneducated expectation from Americans is that the Mexican engineers would want to emigrate to the United States once they start working with American companies. Has that been an issue for you and your company?
Exactly, I've been amazed. In fact, sometimes we have difficulty getting our guys to come and spend time in U.S. Because they're so comfortable there. They have family, they have friends, they like being where they are. We have not lost people because of U.S. We have lost people because they wanted to get back onto school or there's some family thing.
Yeah.
But I have not seen that trend where the developers, the engineers from Mexico are trying to come to U.S. and settle down.
Right.
I have not seen that trend. In fact, when I had my companies in India, there was more risk of losing people to U.S. than having a presence in Mexico.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's reassuring, and I guess they can come visit probably as often as they like with NAFTA and just go home. So there's no real reason to move here. Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. They all the vacations, their friends, their family. It's like any other city. They go and visit and go back home.
Right. Right. Okay. So you mentioned you're able to find talent there in Guadalajara from other parts of Mexico and even other parts of Latin America. So tell us a little bit more about the recruiting process, and then are you taking people out of universities, and are you providing additional training as needed? How does the recruiting and training work at iTexico?
So we work hard we invest heavily into our talent. We have a lot of in-house training in technology solutions, in communication. So we spend a lot of time finding and selecting talent. We have partnerships with the universities, a lot of universities in Guadalajara itself, where we influence their education. We get a lot of interns to get in and experience working with us, and that allows us to be selected. We do a lot of training in Mexico, in Guadalajara, and in Latin American countries like Chile and Argentina. That also allows us to tap into talent.
You mean so you're going to these other countries and doing training there, and then meeting programmers that way? I see. Interesting.
And that's something which I suspect is going to grow because there is a lot of talent available in that region. They're all looking for some good opportunities to work on exciting projects. I mean, our staff is young. I think the average age is below 30, maybe 26, 27. So they're very aware of what are the possibilities in high tech and IT. And we try to provide them an environment where they can meet their professional goals. And we reject a lot of people. We have technical interviews and technical evaluation processes. We also do psychometric evaluation. We want to make sure that they have the right way of thinking, they have the right way of interacting with co-workers. So we have rejected some really good technical guys because they didn't fit the profile of iTexico employees.
I see. It's You mentioned something there. Oh, I wanted to get to the technology stuff now. So with mobile app development, what are the various technologies that you're using, and how are you guys keeping up to date?
Sure. So, we do development in iOS, which is what they call native development.
Mm-hmm.
We do development in Android, that's a native on Google devices or Google supported devices.
Right.
And we also do a lot of development in what they call cross-platform development environments. One of the leading ones is Titanium by a company called Accelerator.
Mm-hmm.
Accelerator, I'm sorry. The other one is Xamarin. They allow you to build applications using one code base, one programming language, and then these applications can work on multiple devices, multiple iOS.
Mm-hmm.
So we do all three, native iOS, native Android, and then hybrid or cross-platform or multi-platform environments. We do a lot of training in-house, so we are certified trainers with Accelerator. So we do monthly classes for our own employees, and we invite others in the region to attend those classes. One is to promote the technology, second is to identify some talent,
mm-hmm.
and then we do these classes in other countries also.
Mm-hmm.
Because everything is so new, you don't have people with 5-10 years of experience developing on this new environment.
Right.
So we do our own training, we have gone through certification processes. We are partnered with the government of Jalisco, that's a state where Guadalajara is in,
mm-hmm.
and they support the training. Sometimes they would even subsidize the training for the students.
Mm-hmm.
And that is allowing us to build the talent base in these mobile platforms.
So okay. Are you finding that developing of mobile applications and multi-platform mobile with web involved also is different than what we were doing a few years ago with just web applications and a browser-based interface?
Absolutely. This is a great question. The whole paradigm is shifting from functionality to usability.
Yeah.
So more than half the effort with the mobile applications is the ease of use, the attractiveness, the functional, the interaction with the users. So we spend a lot of time on the UI, UX component of mobile application.
Mm-hmm.
It's also unique. On the web, you just design an app or design a solution to fit the browser, and you have a monitor, and you just fit it. You don't think about interactivity. With all these mobile devices, interactivity, the touch, the location, the ability to get the data depending on who you are and where you are, allows you to do things which you could not do with the web applications, with software on the web. And that's also resulting in a lot of effort in figuring out how would someone interact with these mobile devices. And finally, the size of the device, the small screen, forces you to put the right information at the right time in front of the users and give them enough options, but not too many, so they can interact and do the work faster. So the paradigm of building the mobile applications is totally different. Usability, and then, of course, the fact that you are outside and you have access to data based on the location makes it a bit complex in fetching the data, and so a lot of analytics, a lot of interaction with the backend system. That whole thing has changed. And that's forcing companies to literally redesign their existing solutions with the mobile paradigm in mind.
Yeah. And even within mobile, we've gone from iPhones to iPads and Android phones to Android tablets. So, it's always changing. But
it's changing, and the screen sizes are changing. So
the
user interface on an iPhone is going to be totally different than the user interface on an iPad, because you have a bigger screen size, so you can do more, and it'll still be different than the user interface under a browser, because the browser is not interactive.
Okay.
So not only you have solutions which are device specific, but now you have solutions which are screen size specific. So what you can do on a tablet, you cannot do on an iPhone with a smaller screen, and vice versa. So it's forcing almost a new revolution in taking what you have now and making it mobile. And it's not a simple conversion. Now you have to start thinking, how would my user interface or interact with these devices, and how can they do the work faster, and what could they do? We're seeing a lot of new models, business models, because of the mobile thing. People are doing things and saving time and solving business problems in many, many unique ways, leveraging this mobile concept.
Great. I heard you fine through all that session, but I think your microphone might have moved because it was a little bit quieter than before. Did something change there?
I probably should speak louder.
Okay, maybe that's all it is. Yeah, I mean, I could hear you, but it was not as loud as before. So, okay,
I have a tendency to speak softly, so I'll try to speak louder.
Okay, that's good. The level you're at now. So, a couple more things, and we're doing fine for time. With the clients that come to you, I imagine there's various different situations and scenarios. Some may have an existing application, maybe a web application, they need to mobilify it, or whatever the right word is, come up with a mobile interface. Others may have a completely new idea. So let's talk about some of those different scenarios. Well, let's say it's a relatively new idea, and they're just starting with a mobile application. Can you help them develop a minimum viable product, or MVP, has become popular with startups these days?
Absolutely. In fact, I have one of our UI experts traveling to Chicago and Philadelphia doing exactly that. So we have teamed up with companies who take feedback, take ideas, and build build set of screens, and mock things up to give an idea of what the product will look like, and then get feedback from the customers or the users before you invest in the actual development. So it's a 2-week effort we do. Sometimes we can do it in even a week. We'll build something which is user friendly, which addresses the business process flow. And instead of actually building it, we can just show how it might look in the real environment.
Right.
Get the sign-in, get the buy-in from the users, from the customers, and then use that as a platform for estimates for the actual development. So we are starting to see a lot of this MVP or prototype or proof of concept coming our way, where customers just want to see what the solution might look like.
Yeah.
Make sure it's the right one before they build it, spend a lot of money and build it and put it in production.
Yeah, I think there's a couple concepts there. I mean, a company might have a good idea of what the product is or what it should do, but of course it's their idea. And so you'll work with them like this using, I imagine, typical prototyping tools. What kind of tools are you like doing wireframing and other kinds of tools like that?
Wireframing, Balsamiq, InVision.
Right.
Sometimes we just use Adobe Creative Suite. Put things in and then actually show to the customer.
Okay.
Sometimes it's a piece of paper and a flow chart. Sometimes it might be Visio, PowerPoint.
Right.
All kinds. A lot of times it's Balsamiq and InVision and a few others. They allow you not only to prototype, but also present it on the device. And so you can see what the end solution might look like. And then show it to the client, to the users for the buy-in.
Right. I mean, that's where I was going. So if you show it to the client and they say, yeah, that's kind of what we're thinking, and then you can start programming. But I think the MVP concept goes another step further. The client may say, yeah, that's what we're thinking about. So then you build it, and then you show it to customers, the client's customers, and they say, yeah, no, that's not what we want, or it was a stupid idea to begin with, and that's the whole, persevere and add more features or pivot and change the direction. So even though the client has invested in some development, they still, might change direction in some way. So
yes, and what has happened in addition to the proof of concept and just a visual mock-up, we have done, what we are seeing is we'll build the applications in the front, without interaction with the backend, because that sometimes can take a lot of time pulling data in, data out. So we'll delay the backend integration and just do the front end and put some dummy data, and that allows you to see what the real product would look like.
Yeah. And
so
test it with...
kind of a piece-of process, a proof of concept, MVP, and then the real development.
Okay, great. That's great. I think that's what a lot of clients really need these days. So, okay. So you mentioned you have a team in Austin. How many people do you have in the States, and what do they do compared to the guys in Mexico?
So in States, between Austin and the Bay Area, we have around 10 people.
Okay.
We do client management, business development, marketing, project management with the teams here.
Okay.
And then we have project managers, and we have developers and the UI and QA teams, and operations team in Guadalajara, Mexico. Between the field locations, we have around 60 people.
Okay. So in Guadalajara, you mentioned before it's easy for Americans to travel there, and once they're there, it's a fairly comfortable environment, both climate-wise and just the getting around and whatnot. But still, I think many Americans would feel concerned about traveling to Mexico these days. What's it like going to Guadalajara? Is there danger?
Personally, I've been going there for over 3 years now. It's like any other large U.S. city. It looks like any U.S. city. It looks a little bit more European than U.S. Because of it's an old city, over 500 years old.
Yeah.
In terms of the violence, I read about it a lot. I've heard about it along the border areas. I personally have not seen anything which impacts anything I'm doing. Like any large city, like Dallas, like Houston, like New Delhi, like Mumbai, there are areas where you don't want to be, and there is a general level of security you need to be aware of. I have not seen anything which I read about. I've seen incidents, but I see more incidents in Chicago, in Washington, D.C., in Mumbai, in Delhi, than in Guadalajara. Having said that, there is a perception, and I run into it. And all I can say is, you have to come and check it out, and look at the data before you make that perception.
Yeah.
I go there all the time, and that's the last thing I think about, about security and all. I mean, I think because of the proximity, because of the media, it may be a bit overblown. But I personally, we don't worry about it. We have clients who come there. They spend time with us. We have team rooms. We have war rooms. They work, and we go out, and we have fun. I mean, I would just be careful, like I would be careful in any large city. I'm going there for the first time.
Right.
But once you know, it's like any other place. It's a large metropolitan, really nice, well-to-do city.
And just to be clear, the war room is for working on client projects, not for fighting the people.
Not for fighting. Also, that happens once in a while. You're in a locked up in a room like this, that happens. But it's not a war.
Right.
It's more of a team.
Yeah, no, I also have traveled to Mexico on and off the last 5 years, and have not in many cities, and it's not really an issue traveling. It's very safe. Has been my experience as well. You do go about your business, and it's fine. So it's good.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that was everything kind of on my list. Any other things you'd like to talk about? Agile or other specific clients?
A couple of things we are able to provide to our clients. One is we have this team as a service model where we can provide flexible teams to our clients, and these are collaborative teams, so we don't have to have someone on site positioned on the client just to manage their own team. So that allows our clients to save time and money. Traveling, we have found, really makes a big difference. Being able to go back and forth. the younger generation in US and in Mexico, they're much more tech savvy, much more IT aware, and that's allowing us to tap into a pool of talent which probably was not there 5-10 years ago.
Okay.
And then the other thing we're finding is because all these technologies, all these things are mobile and cloud are so new, it's a good time to build talent on both the sides. And of course, the NAFTA and the trade relationship, I think it makes a lot of sense to work with your neighbors, to have teams on both US and Mexico, and build solutions which might be a little difficult to when your teams are spread all over the world.
Yeah. Yeah, you also mentioned the bilingual support. So there are such a large Hispanic population in the United States these days. Having a Spanish language version of your software service makes a lot of sense. That would be very easy.
Our team, we specifically make sure we only have bilingual members on our staff. We have English communication classes for all our employees. So they are well versed in 2 languages, and the Spanish, the Latin America market is large enough, and the Hispanic market in US is large enough. That gives us an edge when we build solutions for the client. The other thing, Steve, which has happened is a lot of our customers are leveraging us to take their solutions, which are leading edge, which are popular solutions in US, and use us to extend their markets into Latin America.
Okay.
So we have closed a number of deals on behalf of our clients in US, leveraging our presence in Mexico to help them close deals with their Latin American clients. The language and culture might be an issue.
Yeah.
And that is starting to become a growing part of our business.
Interesting. Okay, good. That's good.
And then finally, we are not a Mexican company. We are a US-based company. We just have a wholly owned subsidiary in Guadalajara.
Right.
All the employees are badged employees. They work for us, so we invest in them. We are not contracting people. We are not a broker here. We're not in matching clients and programmers. This is our own team.
Right.
And they all work for us.
Yeah, that's an important distinction, because I think a lot of companies think they want 2 programming individuals without the benefit of not even understanding the benefit of having a company behind them that's providing the training and the support necessary to do a much more effective job. So, and that's exactly the kind of company that Accelerance loves to partner with. So what you're doing. Okay, good. I think that's it. Let me stop the recording here.